Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissistic relationships. And have you ever felt that this was sort of a situation where you kind of had all these bags of pain in your life and you're trying to figure out which one's the heaviest as a result of these relationships? Let's talk about this. Because what it can really feel like is this whole healing from these relationships is just like weighing out which pain is the lightest. The challenge of any narcissistic relationship is that it's pain everywhere you turn. The pain of what happened in the relationship itself, all the invalidation and betrayal and how you were treated, that your identity, your true sense of self were all thwarted. That's not good. There's the pain you feel of self-blame and of shame and feeling as though you were the one doing something wrong. And when we're in pain, what do? When we're in pain, we want the pain to end. And this is where narcissistic relationships can be very treacherous, because the way to soothe the pain isn't always clear. Now, early on in any narcissistic relationship, or even as a kid, you may believe that there's something you can do, that you could be different, you could change yourself, you can apologize, you can try harder, try to make it stop. And it can take a while to recognize that anything that involves the narcissistic person is not going to work, and it's certainly not going to reduce your pain. The agony, and I think the resistance to radical acceptance, is the recognition that there is nothing you can do, but you are still in pain. You may get to the point you want out of the relationship, but you're struggling with guilt. You might say, I feel bad, or other people will be hurt if I were to end it, or it'll mess up my kids. You might feel grief, shame, fear. You might even feel some ambivalence about leaving the relationship. So when it comes down to making decisions about these relationships, it's about weighing your pain and the different pain that the different paths in your life will carry. It's not about which path is easier, it's about which is most or least painful. No matter how much I unpack narcissistic relationships on this channel or with clients, there is no path forward that is pain-free. I have talked with people who say, I want this to stop hurting, but I don't know if I can leave, or if I should leave, or want to leave. I gotta tell you, there's no path forward that lifts the pain without incurring other pain. It's as though there's all these damn bags of pain lying all around you, and you're trying to figure out which bag weighs the most. Narcissistic relationships also do not occur in a vacuum. There's tons of collateral damage. Children who are hurt by a narcissistic relationship, whether you stay in it or whether you leave. Extended family members that may get torn apart if you decide to stop having contact with selected members of the family. Workplaces that are run by tyrants, where someone leaving can mean the people who are being abused get more abused. And perhaps the person leaving, that would be you leaving, was able to advocate for them somewhat, but that you just can't do it anymore. And if you are at all empathic, other people being hurt by your leaving matters to you. You carry the pain of seeing children suffer, or certain family members suffer, or friends suffer, or former colleagues suffer. You carry the subjective pain of watching the narcissistic person's abandonment get triggered. You may actually feel bad for them. You have the pain of the grief, the pain of the guilt. So it's all about weighing out the different forms of pain. Pain for you, pain for others, hell, pain for the narcissistic person. And figure out which path might be the most least painful. It's not about finding the path that eliminates the pain, because that is not an option. It's also about the pain you feel versus what other people are feeling. Another part of the pain that gets activated is how other people will view you. No matter how much we may try to live in a world where we may try to not care about how other people view us, we do. It's part of being a person. And when we make decisions about narcissistic relationships, especially whether to leave them or disengage from them, that can, amongst the uninformed, result in judgments about us being cold, that we didn't try hard enough, that we weren't loyal, that we took the easy path out. And obviously this can really sting, especially if we know we tried like hell, we were treated horribly, that we are deeply loyal people, and that all kept us stuck for many more years. This all becomes one more heavy bag of pain. We want our decisions to be seen holistically and to not be dismissed out of hand. We don't want to be dismissed out of hand for the choices that we make, as though it was easy. A major challenge with making decisions or healing from narcissistic relationships is when people make it sound or make it seem like it's simple, easy, just go no contact and you'll feel better. Actually, you may not. After going no contact, you may struggle with the idea of how other people close to you and the narcissist are managing. You might even feel bad for the narcissistic person, and you'll probably be uncomfortable with how you're being viewed by other people. These are all heavy pains you have to carry. You weigh them out. And the decision-making isn't about the smoothest path forward or the easiest way forward or what will feel better. But it's as though you are weighing out all of these different pains and trying to figure out which bag of pain weighs the least. And for more than a few of you, you find that it might be less painful to stay, figure out the workarounds, not want to interrupt children's lives, or to be isolated for family systems, or have to endure being seen in a distorted manner. You may decide that, and that's okay. Decision-making about narcissistic relationships doesn't feel so much like a choice, because really what you're doing is having to sort through a bunch of really crappy, uncomfortable choices, of deciding the weight of each pain, and then doing a calculation about your pain and the pain of others, and then attempting to make a decision you can live with. A key in this process is something I talk about a lot, which is self-compassion. Self-compassion for your lack of decisiveness, self-compassion for having to choose to protect someone else, and setting yourself up for more hurt. Self-compassion for feeling silly, for caring about how the narcissistic person feels. It's a wonder anyone ever gets a decision made in any narcissistic relationship or about any narcissistic relationship. So much of the guidance out there is about the decisions you need to make about your narcissistic relationship. Stay or go, the workarounds, the gray rocking, the no contact. But really, ultimately, what you're choosing, it's about deciding which pain you are choosing and weighing it out against the others. And when you think of it that way, it doesn't seem like a choice, and it feels more like endurance. And again, that's normal in narcissistic relationships. If it feels this way, it's not you doing it wrong, it's not that you're indecisive, it's the painful, paradoxical, and messed up nature of a narcissistic relationship. So again, I think a lot of people think like, come on, make a choice. And a lot of people and narcissistic people who are struggling with decision making will often feel as though there's something wrong with them. See, I am indecisive. See, I'm not good at this. But in fact, you're not really making a decision as we traditionally do. When you really think about it as this choice between different kinds of pain, it can really help you, again, be kinder to yourself and make you realize that the choice you're making now, who knows how in the long term it's going to pay out, but right now it's reducing some pain, and especially if that pain involves other people, it could certainly make a big difference. And after hearing a video like this, if you are somebody who is a therapist, a life coach, or a therapist in training, just want to let you know about a program that I'll be launching in January of next year that will focus on how to support clients who are healing from narcissistic abuse for issues just like the ones I was talking about in this video. See the link in the video description for more details, and thanks again.